Hey Doc, it's Chris Burfield, and welcome to the Chiropractic Underground's Q&A session where I let you ask me any practice-building question your big heart desires. Yes, any question you want. And today, I have a question from none other than Dr. T. Yes, Dr. T. That's how he signed off on his name, Dr. T. So, Dr. T, thank you for writing in. I think this is an excellent question, and I'm really glad that you've brought this topic up. Here's what Dr. T asked me. He said, with insurance companies like ASHP, what do you recommend? I get more and more patients that had good insurance ending up getting switched to ASHP, and they pay a total of $27 minus the copay. So if they have a copay of $10, ASHP sends us $17. Some pay as much as $36, but I used to get paid about $60 to $80 for doing the exact same thing. Dr. T, I know you're not going to want to hear this, and it's hard for me to say this to you, but my friend, the writing is on the wall. The writing is on the wall. You're not alone. We're seeing this all over the country. Insurance companies are cutting reimbursement to chiropractors. It's not getting any better. It's getting worse. And the only option for any practice that plans to thrive in the future is to start focusing on cash. So, with that being said, I have some ideas for you that can help you start doing that. Last year, Highmark Blue Cross Blue Shield in Pennsylvania cut reimbursement to chiropractors by 30%. So chiropractors took a huge hit on the amount that Highmark was reimbursing them. And like I said, we're seeing a lot more of this. And the time to prepare for this is now. So you need to start focusing on collecting more cash. And here's what I would recommend. I don't know, first of all, I don't know what type of practice you have, and that's part of the equation. I'm going to assume, for argument's sake, and kind of based on your email, is that you are more of a relief care type practice. I don't know if that's the case. I'm just kind of guessing because the insurance reimbursement seems to be a pretty big factor. If it's not, I apologize, but that seems to be what I'm gathering from this. And the only reason I say that is because chiropractic offices that focus more on corrective care, they're recommending 50, 60 visits a year plus, 45 visits a year plus. And the insurance is typically only paying for 20 visits anyway. So they're pretty used to collecting cash on the amount of visits that the insurance isn't going to pay for. So let's say that you are a relief care practice, and let's say that ASHP is paying you on 20 visits. So they're paying you a total between the copay and what they're reimbursing you on average $27. And that's on a total of 20 visits. Could be less, could be more. I'm just guessing here, which is $540 for 20 visits, which really isn't a lot. So the question then becomes, how do I collect more money? So here's what I would recommend. And my first question to you is, how often do you personally get adjusted per year? Now, for me, I'm hoping that you get it adjusted at least once a week, or at the very bare minimum, once every 2 weeks. As a chiropractor, you should be getting adjusted. I mean, you should be living that chiropractic lifestyle. For me and my family, we get adjusted once a week. And I've been getting adjusted for the last 17 years of my life. My daughter has been adjusted since the day she was born. My wife has been getting adjusted the last 10 years. We get adjusted once a week. There are 52 weeks in a year. So including myself, each one of my family members, we're all getting adjusted 52 times a year for wellness. 52 times a year just for wellness care. That's not correction. Now, maybe you're a chiropractor that's like, hey, you know what? I don't buy into the whole you got to be adjusted 45 to 60 times in a year for correction. I don't believe that a person has to be adjusted 3 times a week. Okay, that's fine. I'm not here to chastise how people practice. But what I would recommend is that you start including, I would assume that you do feel in your heart that wellness care is an essential part of being healthy. Am I right? I would assume that that's how you feel. So here's what I would do. I would start including your wellness plans into your relief care plan or your initial recommendation. So let's say you're basing it just on what the insurance pays out, and that's 20 visits. Even if your patient were to get adjusted for the next 12 months at once every 2 weeks, that's an additional 26 visits a year. So, we'll say it takes 6 weeks to go through their 20 visits. So they're getting adjusted an additional 20 times on top of the 20 that their insurance paid. Now, if you're charging, let's say $60 a visit, I charged $75 a visit in my office. The chiropractor that me and my family see, he charges us $45 a visit. And my family and I together, I actually pay $540 a month for our wellness care in his office. And he prefers to be paid every month. So that's how I pay him. So that's $540 a month. So let's say you're charging $60 a visit times the 20 visits of wellness care that you're including in it over the course of a year. 20 times 60 is $1,200 plus the $200 that they're paying out of pocket, their $10 copay for their 20 visits. So that's a total of $1,400 plus, the $540 that the insurance is going to pay you. So you're going to collect as a case average, a case fee for the year per patient would be close to $2,000, right? But they're only going to have to pay $1,400 of that out of their own pocket. Now you can offer them, say, hey, this is what I'm recommending, 20 visits to handle the problem. After we're finished with those initial 20 visits, I'm going to also recommend 20 additional visits that will be spread out over the course of the next 10 months to help maintain the adjustments that we got, the correction that we got out of your spine, and maintain the relief and move you more into wellness. And talk a little bit about the wellness lifestyle. And the cost total, fee for your care is $1,400. And you can make a one-time payment and get a 20% savings on it. If you can't do that, you can break it out into, 2 payments, or we can spread it out over 6 months. So divided by 6, it'd be $233 a month. Or if you wanted to spread it out over a year, you could do that and just have them pay for it over the course of a year. I don't know anybody that couldn't afford, it'd be like $115 a month or something like that. So that's what I would focus on. I would focus on collecting more cash by including your wellness visits into your actual plan. Now, if you really want to hit a home run with it, you'll start focusing more on correction and maybe, tell them it's going to be, it's going to be based on their case. Obviously these numbers are hypothetical, but let's say it's going to take them 45 visits over the course of the next 90 days to get their problem fixed, to correct their subluxations. You can charge the fee for that. So an additional, 25 visits times $60, and just start focusing on more cash is the bottom line. The docs that focus on cash now and start preparing for it are going to thrive in the future. The docs that sit on the sidelines and watch the insurance reimbursement continue to dwindle in the next 5 years are not going to exist. They're just not. The reimbursement is getting worse and worse and worse. And the only way to counter that is to collect more cash. So there are obviously some other things that you can implement into your practice, cash flow wise. But things maybe like possibly like DME or something like that. But, I just want to focus on chiropractic for right now. So that's what I would do, Doc. I hope that answers your question. I hope you got some value out of this answer. Again, thank you for submitting it. I know there's a lot of chiropractors out there that feel the exact same way as you. You are not alone. This is happening all across the board. So I hope this sheds a little light on the subject and inspires you to start wanting to collect more cash. In the meantime, keep saving lives.